Time for the 49ers Rush Podcast.
Continuing our 49ers roster countdown with number 54. One of my favorite tight end acquisitions that totally flew under the radar. Tight end Tyler Kroft, which he brings a lot that the 49ers current tight end room doesn't have. He's got more experience than all of them. He's taller than all of them. He's bigger than all of them. Not near as much production as, anybody else on the team, but also more injury history than all of them as well. And I think, he's entering his 8th season in the NFL. And the longer you play, the more injuries there's going to be. But you got to understand, this is a former 3rd-round pick in the NFL. The talent level of Tyler Kroft compared to people like Ross Dwelly or Jordan Matthews or Tanner Hudson, the ceiling is far, far higher, but you're getting the extra road mileage. He's 29 years old. And so this is somebody that's a little bit older, more experienced, bigger, faster, stronger, all those things as well that go with it. He's going to be wearing jersey number 47. I like the 40s and the tight end. I think that's a clean look. 6'6", 252. He a big dude. 6'6", 252. He will be the biggest in the room considerably. Now, if you look at the journey that Tyler Kroft has taken to get to the NFL, he's a, Pennsylvania kid, played for Downey East High School, the Fighting Cougars, which is kind of in between Philadelphia and Lancaster. So, west of Philadelphia, almost before you get to Amish territory and all the farms and all that kind of stuff. So, smaller school, Pennsylvania kid, and was a 3-star recruit coming out of Rivals. But he had a pretty interesting college or high school career. He was a 3-year starter for his coach, Mike Mata, at Downington East High School. That's hard to say. And he started at tight end as a sophomore. Then they moved him to wide receiver, as a senior, and did really, really well. Him and his teammate, Taj Alexander, both chose to go to the same college, Rutgers in Piscataway, Jersey. And he was also selected to play in the Big 33 game, which in the recruiting trail, that's kind of a big deal. It's kind of like their own high school, whatever, big recruiting all-star game. So he was an all-Southeastern Pennsylvania selection by the Philadelphia Inquirer. Caught 40 passes, 669 yards, 8 touchdowns. Again, was a 3-star recruit according to Rival, Scout.com, ESPN, and all those things. Was the 21st rated player coming out of Pennsylvania and the 42nd tight end. Led his high school team to a 9-3 record, made it to the state quarterfinals, and then whenever he went to Piscataway, the Rutgers, redshirted his first year, 2011. After that, 2012, he basically used on special teams, and then in 2013, that's when he finally got to start. Got 12 games to start at tight end, and his first year starting as tight end, leads the entire team in receiving yards, 573, 43 receptions, had 4 receiving touchdowns, honorable mention, and stop me if you've heard this before, the AAC All-Academic Football Team, which is something that he would do again the following year. Very, very smart. And then he was named to the Big Ten All-Academic Team. Smart, smart, smart. The 49ers have such a premium on intelligence and character unlike any other team in the NFL. Again, we've done, this is number 54, right? So we're almost done 40 of these. Golly, I'd probably be willing to argue 36 out of the 40 profiles we've done on the back end of the roster, all academic something, honor rolls and whatever else. So it's something that is very, very important. Now, in 2014, had 11 starts. His reception numbers went down a little bit, but he earned the Loyal Knights Award at the team banquet, which is presented to a player with the best character and sacrifices team goals or personal goals for the good of the team. Again, he took a smaller role receptions-wise to help and block and help the team be successful. Again, Big Ten all-academic team. Now, having said that, chose to forego his senior year because he got an invite to the combine and declare for the draft. And whenever he did, he went through, ran a 4.6 940, pretty dang good for his size. 7.18 3-cone, pretty good for that size. 34-inch vertical, great for his size. And I was having a really hard time finding an athletic comp for him as a tight end. Martellus Bennett, if you remember him, was probably the closest. But he was actually even more of a match with another player in the NFL, quarterback Justin Herbert. Had an 88% athletic performance profile match with Justin Herbert. So just to demonstrate how big and athletic Tyler Kroft is, just think Justin Herbert. Like, dude's freaking a mountain of a man. He gets drafted in the 3rd round of the 2015 draft by the Cincinnati Bengals, pick number 85. This is a top 100 pick talent, and it showed. Now, you look at his career, it didn't go the way you'd want it to. Gets drafted by the Bengals in the 3rd round, starts off 3rd on the draft depth chart. He was behind Tyler Eifert, you remember him, and CJ Uzomah, who's still playing. Didn't really get much his rookie year. 10 catches, 92 yards, whatever else. Then in 2017, Tyler Eifert got hurt, which started to happen all the time. And Kroft took over starting the 2nd year. 42 catches, 400 receiving yards, and 7 touchdowns. That's his role in the NFL. He is a receiving red zone target. 7 touchdowns. Pretty damn big deal for a tight end. 2018, this is where the injury started to hurt his career. Suffered a foot injury, missed 5 games, bounced back and forth, ended up on the injured reserve. That ended his time with the Bengals. Then he went to Buffalo, signed a big deal, 3-year, $18 million contract, which was awesome, and broke his foot in OTAs, which required surgery, ending that year. 2020, off and on, did really, really well, landed on COVID a couple times, but really just a backup with the Bills. Didn't really do much. 12 catches, 119 yards, 3 receiving touchdowns. So, again, even limited use in the receiving game, you get him in the red zone, watch out, man. He's just too big of a target, too athletic, easy to see. Caught on with the Jets last year, which is very significant in the Kroft journey because that's Robert Saleh, right? He got to be in a 49ers type system, and it just didn't really work out for him there either. Got placed on injured reserve after suffering a chest injury in week 9. Brought back and forth, whatever. Finished the year with 16 catches, 173 yards, and 1 touchdown in 9 games. Started 6 games for him. But you can see, that's his journey to this point, okay? Injuries, that's an issue. He's older, that's an issue. Can he stay healthy? We'll see. You know, he signed in May 23rd this year with the 49ers on a 1-year, $1.2 million deal. So you can see where he was getting, $5 to $6 million a year. Now he's down to the $1.2 million range. But despite even a lower contract, he's the 2nd highest paid tight end on the team. And I think that kind of matters. Goes Kittle by a significant margin, then Tyler Kroft, then Charlie Warner, then Ross Dwelley, then Fumagalli and Hudson on the back end. They're tied with kind of a vet minimum. I don't think that's really going to play the decision in who makes this team and who doesn't at that tight end position, because that tight end 3 spot, we've talked a lot about this offseason. It's going to get a lot of attention in camp because there's 5 guys fighting for that thing. So we'll have to see who gets it. I know Dwelley's the team favorite, right? Everybody loves him, but my personal opinion, Tyler Kroft's going to win that job. I just think he's got too much experience and too much of a ceiling compared to Dwelley and the other guys. Now, you look at, again, his experience. He's played in more games than George Kittle has. George Kittle's played in 67 games. He's played in 81 with 48 starts. By far the largest tight. He's 20 pounds bigger than Ross Dwelley. That matters, especially if you're struggling with offensive line help. You don't know if McGlinchey's coming back. You've got new interior guys. It's just one of those extra things that just gives them a bump. If you see Ross Dwelley and Tyler Kroft next to each other, it's pretty easy. The tight end 3 isn't going to be split out running routes. That's not what they want with that. They want extra help blocking. So my prediction, Kroft and Dwelley fight out that tight end 3 spot, and I think Kroft has the upper hand if he can stay healthy. Injuries have plagued him through his career, and that's an issue. If he can stay healthy through camp in the preseason, I think it's his job to lose. I really, really do. Now, if he does get beat out by Dwelley or Fumagalli or Tanner Hudson, I think that's it. I doubt that they would keep Kroft on the practice squad. My guess is he would just try to wait and go somewhere else when an injury happened. I don't know, but I just don't see that. I just really don't see it. So it's 53 or bust for this guy. And I have him 54. 53 people make the roster. I do have him making it, but it's not a lock by any stretch. However, I do think that these are the type of position battles that define the 49ers in 2022. The depth, the fact that you have these, I think I said 5 earlier, 4 guys fighting for the tight end 3 spot. It's a testament to John Lynch and how they built this roster. And I think that's going to pay dividends because even if Kittle gets hurt again, which he's been hurt all the time, with the way he plays, I get it and I love it. I don't want Kittle to change that. But the fact that now you have backup options that are top talent type players, it's a 3rd round pick. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Anthony, for producing this show. And we're just going to keep counting them down.